Oh, girl. Hell yes.
The roller coaster is about to begin. Hold on tight, because this is the big time.
Chris has taken a swig of Diet Dew, so you know that means it's time for another episode of Pod of Thunder. Here we go.
Waiting for Dale Earnhardt to come crashing through the window here, just like on those new commercials.
That's the current ad. Dale Earnhardt comes crashing in whenever
these two guys are duck hunting, and the guy pops open a bottle of Diet Dew, and suddenly Junior comes flying out of the woods. It is a Diet Dew car. That's pretty funny.
Pretty funny, but it doesn't seem to go with duck hunting. I wonder why they chose duck hunting.
Well,
because it's a
appealing
quiet,
to the rednecks.
Yeah, maybe because it's like a peaceful, quiet thing. And
no,
then
I think it's more of a redneck thing.
Really?
It goes with the NASCAR stuff a lot,
Just hillbillies.
Well, I'm just saying there are a lot of people who are into both, I would say.
Isn't that a thing where hillbillies are drinking so much Mountain Dew that their fucking teeth are rotting out?
Yeah, I think it's called Mountain Dew mouth.
Yeah.
It's like a condition. I mean, obviously that's not a medical term, but that's what people call it, where their teeth are rotting, and Mountain Dew is the drink of choice.
Terrifying.
No dental care and no maintenance of the teeth, no teeth brushing, no flossing, just Mountain Dew.
And no refusal to stop drinking Mountain Dew.
Hell no.
Hey, that's target marketing, man. I'm telling you, it's a total redneck thing.
If that's the joy you get in your life, good for you. Having some Mountain Dews, letting your teeth rot, living in the mountains, whatever.
Hey, this is America, baby.
Yep.
You're free to do that if you wish.
You do whatever the hell you want.
Except you're probably not advised to cancel a Ted Nugent concert if you're an Indian tribe in Idaho.
Is that
tear you up?
Not unless you want to hear about it.
You ought to be called an unclean vermin in the press.
You guys saw that today?
Yeah.
Just Nuge being Nuge.
Yeah, what a jag-off. I mean,
he's a horse's ass, but I'm so sick of the way people write articles where every story is just about how somebody said something they shouldn't have said, and can you believe how shocked and outraged we are that this guy said something?
Yeah,
who gives a shit?
It's, the internet media, if you'll look above yourself over there, you'll see a degree from Michigan State University School of Journalism. I'm almost ashamed to say I'm a journalism degree holder, what's happened in the media these days.
What started that? Is it like the Inquirer or something? I don't even know when that...
Actually...
it became a tattletale thing.
Just tabloids or what?
Well, when it bled over into regular media.
I think a lot of people actually point to the whole O.J. Simpson trial as the real degeneration of journalism.
That was the crossover?
Well, that's really kind of where it started, where news outlets would just publish the first thing, that came across the desk without corroborating any of the facts.
Right. Because it was such a rush to get it out, because there's always something new happening.
And a lot of people point to that, and it sounds pretty feasible to me.
Yeah.
I've read, I forgot where I read it. I don't want to sound like I'm smart or anything, but I did read it somewhere. Possibly even in a bound book, bound volume. That like colonial times, like founding fathers times, it was tabloid. People would publish their own stuff, say whatever they wanted to say.
Well, yeah, the whole yellow journalism is where that.
And I mean, with the internet, it's back. Anybody can spread anything they want as far as it'll go.
Right, it's always existed, but now it's just like since nobody has a filter anymore. Nobody has a sense of privacy. They just beam out everything on Twitter.
I feel like people like Ted Nugent, though, that's almost a reaction to the tattletale. Like, he knows he's talking to media. He's saying that shit on purpose.
Well, he's Ted Nugent. He's been saying it for like 40-something years.
Right, but I mean, he's elevating it lately.
He's getting attention.
It's the way Gene Simmons in an article, look at me tying it back to Kiss, in an article would...
what we do here.
Yeah, Gene Simmons would intentionally say certain things to irritate an interviewer. It's like, who you're talking to, what's going to happen. That's the juicy nugget they're going to put in bold in the article. These guys are pros, but I feel like Nugent wants to piss people off.
Well, and plus he's getting older and more cantankerous with each passing day.
And just he doesn't want to put up with this shit anymore.
And I say thank goodness, because I don't care about the outrage that people are claiming that that is happening to them from reading it. I just want to read what ridiculous things he has to say.
Yeah,
he has some stuff to say that is actually pretty, I don't know,
intelligent.
Well, intelligent, I guess, would be a possible way to say it. I guess clever.
Yeah,
more clever.
But then he ruins it with
and then he'll just call somebody out by name. That's like, well,
I mean, he's not a dumb guy. He just, he doesn't have a filter. He now has access to Twitter. Same with Gene and Paul. Some of the shit they say, that stuff you texted me the other day, the way they fire at people.
I love it
in public. Yeah, it's entertaining, but I don't know. At some point, you kind of think these guys should be above it all. But again, as you get older, you get more cantankerous and. You simply don't give a shit at some point. So,
yeah. What was that one? I always send Chris and Nick Paul Stanley Twitter screen caps when he argues with a fan. It was something like...
let me bring it up here.
Yeah, Nick will bring it up. But
give me one moment.
I'm entertained by the Paul Stanley stuff because I think it's still like shocking to me because I always thought he was like the nicest person. But if someone says something that upsets him, he fires right back. I didn't think he had it in him.
Well, Paul just asked someone if they were high or stupid.
Yeah, because they said something about, what was it about drugs being...
About educating yourself.
Yeah.
About, I don't know what... Yeah, I think it was about drugs.
Paul Stanley posted something about how drugs are like, a step down a dark road. Or, it was like some meme that he posted about how you don't need it or something, how it'll ruin your life. And someone posted something about, like, you need to educate yourself because marijuana is a cancer fighting or whatever, like it's prescribed to cancer patients to help create an appetite or whatever. And
Paul, he just put his foot on this guy.
Yeah. It was just like, I don't know. Whatever.
He's just like, shut up.
I don't have to explain where Paul's coming from.
Yeah, I mean.
And then there was another one, I don't think I sent you guys, where someone else piped up, and it was about the person that he first said, are you stupid or high? And the other person, he just wrote two dopes. That's great.
Yeah, Twitter just brings out the worst in people.
Everybody.
They're just these celebrities aren't used to the direct access that the unwashed masses have to them now, and they just sink to their level.
And they're not used to being confronted with the most idiotic stuff, directly confronted in front of a lot of people. I mean, you could call someone out.
I was watching the new Jim Norton show on Vice.com, which is like a talk show online.
It's got to be good.
And the guest for the first episode, he had Mike Tyson and Dana White from the UFC.
Right.
And they were talking about how people on Twitter say like the craziest shit to them. But that guy from the UFC said like in his life of, I think like 13 years of being the head of that, nobody's ever said anything like that to him. Like no fan he's ever met has been like, you're a fucking pussy, I'll kick your ass, you're an idiot.
Like in person?
Yeah. But he said every day it's just like hundreds of people say shit like that. It's just, and that's what you're talking about. Like in person, no one would ever say that to these people. No. And suddenly in the past couple years, now they're getting all this negative fan feedback and they're like, well, fuck this, I'm going to fight back. I don't know. It's pretty wild. Ted Nugent's thing wasn't on Twitter though, right? Wasn't that an interview?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
It's hard to distinguish.
He's constantly beaming shit out, but
No, he's your hometown hero, the Detroit Motor City Madman.
There's a
the other Motor City Madman.
As a kid growing up, rock fan in Detroit in the 70s, Nugent's music is in my DNA. Yeah. But, I agree he's a loudmouth, and he's certainly a hypocrite, but whatever. He can play the hell out of a guitar. That's ultimately what I care about. And he's kind of funny with his rants. Big deal.
Well, at least he's different. Give him that much. I can't think of too many other guys out of that music scene who are the same personality as him. He's
got like the, at least his image that he puts out, he's got like the ego of like David Lee Roth, like Gene Simmons. He's right up there with those guys.
Oh, God, yes, absolutely. one of the biggest egos in the history of humankind.
He's like a rapper with the way his ego is, you know.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that's a typical thing for a rapper.
Is that a racist comment on you?
For white rappers only, they do that. That's what I mean.
Cool.
They kind of hype themselves up in their lyrics, and all they do is talk about how great they are.
Gotcha.
Only the white guys do that.
Yeah, no one else.
Well, Nugent wasn't talking about how great he was. He was talking about how these guys were unclean vermin.
In comparison to him, of course.
Who canceled his show in Iowa. So, whatever. Let's get to the egomaniacs and Kiss, which is the subject of this podcast.
Maybe we'll get a nice Gene song today because of what we just talked about.
Could be.
Boy, wouldn't it be great if today was Charisma Day?
Or something with Mr. Cusano on it, because they say his ego is way out there.
I'm not really in the mood for Cusano tonight. Are you?
I could. Hey, Cusano's on Creatures.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I keep forgetting
and
about that.
And I'm always in the mood for something off of that.
Yeah.
Andy, what do you want to hear?
I'm going to go with Charisma, specifically. I like that. I don't know.
See, this is another instance where, the people who are tuned into this podcast know what the song is, and we don't at this point. So they're probably just like...
I know, that's weird.
If it ends up not being Charisma, which is the bigger likelihood, they're probably just like, what's these guys just wasting their breath at this point?
But you know what? If the one time out of 250 whatever episodes we'll have, when we're correct, when we pick a song specifically and it's right, that's going to be quite a moment.
We're going to grab our crotch at the internet.
Yeah, we're going to, do a jig around the room for like 30 seconds.
That's like a really bad version of winning the lottery.
Hey, we take what we can get, Yeah.
Is this a new amp?
No, I just rearranged some stuff.
I don't remember that being there. We're in Chris's...
We're recording in front of his wall of sound.
His man cave. There's a lot of guitar equipment in here.
Yeah, I had to take an amp into the shop and move some stuff around. So
it's really high-end stuff. There's a nice Squire here.
Well, you notice I had the...
I was trying to think of stuff that's
the logo removed and replaced with my
I noticed that
custom logo.
I noticed that myself.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Where am I looking?
Well, the Telecaster there
starts with the Fender F.
It's a Squire. How'd you know it wasn't a Squire?
I didn't even look at the guitar. I was just making a comment.
Oh, well, yeah. It is a Squire, but I had the logo sanded off and replaced.
Oh, there you go. Good move. That's actually still more cost effective, right?
I got a friend up in the North Burbs who's really good at that stuff, and just had him do it.
It's nice. I like that bootleg guitar stuff.
Yeah, and the logo is a tribute to that scene in Scarface where he kills the crooked cop, Mel Bernstein.
What does it say?
The brand is Fuck Yo.
Dude,
and the model is Melicaster Deluxe.
This is so weird because I was just being an idiot. I was accusing you of having a cheap guitar.
Well, it's standing up right there.
I didn't even know it was a Fender because I was looking at this.
It's not a Fender. It's a Squire.
It's a Squire, but I mean, I didn't even realize it was a Telecaster model. I was looking at your amps in this guitar. I wasn't even looking at that one. And look at that.
There you have
It's like Nostradamus,
right?
But maybe opposite, backwards. That's so weird. So you really do have a Squire that you changed the...
Yeah, I got it for dirt cheap. Couldn't resist. It's a cool guitar, actually.
So I know people play guitar that listen to this show. What do you think of the idea of... I'm assuming those aren't original pickups. You probably swapped them out with something.
Not yet.
Oh, really? They are original?
It's just stock at this moment, except for the logo.
So I was going to say, what do you think of when people get a guitar that's like, the lowest end version and then ramp up the pickups with something higher quality? Because you heard of people doing that a lot.
Well, I did that back when I was actually doing music for real. I had the shittiest equipment.
Did you?
And, I had plywood guitars, but if you load them up with a decent set of pickups, they sound great.
Right, that's what I was getting at. So you're not against that?
No, absolutely not.
Some people are like purists in the instrument, like you have to have whatever, made in the USA, certain kind of wood.
Well, I'm actually a bit of a snob about that. But this guitar was just so low priced, I couldn't turn my back on it. Plus, I like the look of it.
Was it 2 digits?
No, not that.
No, okay. I didn't know. I don't know what that costs. So.
Anywho.
All right. Nick, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Squire.
That's so bizarre.
Thanks for outing me in public.
Dude, I had no idea. That was just like, I didn't even look. Just saying something random, and it didn't even make sense, and it was accurate.
There's actually something.
And even when you were saying the thing about you have a friend, I was like, oh, he's just fucking around. That's a real Telecaster. I didn't even, because from this angle, I can't see the logo. I had to lean forward. So that was bizarre, but go ahead. What were you going to say?
There's something actually a little more embarrassing about that guitar. Maybe I'll reveal it after the song.
Can we tell by looking at it?
Or was it an experience that you had while playing it?
No, it's right. I haven't played it much. I got it recently.
Is it the curly strings?
No.
Sorry.
All right, fine. It is the signature model of the guy in Fallout Boy.
Oh, damn.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I got to admit, the guy's got taste. There's maybe one or two minor things I would change about that guitar.
But everything else is cool, huh?
Yeah,
is that part of the reason why you had the end sanded off?
No, it's a long story. I don't really take up a lot of time on here.
I didn't know if it had like his signature and you were.
It's got it on the back of the headstock. It's still on there.
Okay.
But
yeah,
it's a goof brand that a friend of mine and I came up with. He's got 2 guitars with that logo on it, and I was waiting for my own platform, and
there it is.
You know, I'm not going to do that to an expensive guitar. You know?
Right.
So there you have it. The Faccio Telecaster Deluxe.
Telecaster.
Yep.
Did you just change a letter? Is there a significance to the M?
Well, it's Mel Bernstein, the guy who Tony Montana executes in Scarface.
So it's the Telecaster.
Whole brand is a tribute to that sequence.
All right. It's a nice little
He tells him to get himself 2 tickets to the resurrection, and he goes, "Fuck you!" And he just plugs him in the chest, and it's all over.
There you go.
That's where it is.
We'll have to put a picture on Instagram so people can see the Faccio. All right.
Yeah. So now that everybody's turned off the podcast listening to this innocuous bullshit, what's the merch?
You guys...
Jeez.
Not yet.
Oh, I asked you.
Well, get it ready.
Oh, it's ready.
Okay. You guys still hearing fireworks at night?
Not really.
No, I am.
What kind of war zone do you live in?
I'm still hearing.
You moved to Gary?
I mean, it's like it's almost August, and I'm still hearing fireworks.
Yeah.
So I guess it's that time of year where people have kind of went crazy when they bought fireworks for the 4th, and they're kind of like, well, better blow them off, you know?
Right.
So I went through and I checked what I had, my old fireworks stock.
I did something similar.
I found something that I forgot that I had.
I found some in my garage.
I got a pack of hydro crackers up there.
There you go.
Let's do it.
Phantom doesn't make those
Let's
anymore.
do it in the house.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right.
I found something that, because I am the...
I can't believe I spoiled the bit.
That's all right. You can edit it out.
Yeah.
Or you can edit it. You can edit it in twice. Whatever you want, whichever way you want to go.
All right.
So, yeah, I found something, a very rare Kiss item, and it's not getting any younger, so I think we're going to blow it off.
Okay.
I found it's really, it seems dangerous, but it's from like mid-70s, back when there were like no seat belts, and really there were no rules apparently. It didn't matter what you did.
Back when the Motor City Madman was taking over.
Yeah. So,
calling people unclean vermin with impunity.
Yep.
You know,
I found I found a bottle rocket, a Kiss bottle rocket from like 77, I think it is, or 76 maybe. It's the Take Me pocket rocket.
Ooh.
You actually are supposed to put it in your pocket and light it and have it come flying on out of there.
That sounds dangerous.
It's the 70s. Nobody cared about anything.
Yeah, I guess so.
Have you seen that YouTube video? The guy who tried to shoot the bottle rocket out of his ass.
And it didn't leave.
I saw a compilation with like 20 guys that did that.
Yeah, this is along those lines. Probably why it was discontinued.
Yeah,
quickly.
But we've got it, and I wonder if it still has any, actual firepower. I don't know if this stuff wears off over time.
I don't know, man.
But
there's still like old dynamite mines that you have to be aware of in certain areas.
Let's see if this has any juice then, and we're gonna just fire it up to the sky and
all right. So
see if anything happens.
You gonna light it?
Yeah, here it goes.
Okay, let's hear it. Light it. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it plays a Motley Crue song and everything instead of the awesome. Whistling.
Before that song was even written.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
That's very cool.
Well, I see it.
Okay. Hold on. I see it too. All right.
This one comes off.
Asylum.
It's called
All Night.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Oh,
this is one from the childhood for me and Andy.
Yeah.
This is college years for me.
I had this tape. This is a cassette tape that I bought. I'm sure it was a little bit after. It was probably not too long. This is 86, right?
85,
85?
I want to say.
Yeah. So this is it was probably maybe 4 or 5 years later. It wasn't
probably
too much later.
Yeah, you were pretty young.
A little young to buy an All Night album. What else is on this? Tears Are Falling.
Yeah, this was one of the
King
singles.
of the Mountain.
This was a single, wasn't it?
Who Wants to Be Lonely?
Yeah,
right?
They definitely had a video. This is one of those
this
videos
was unexposed.
That turned up
Play
on
the
their,
uncensored version.
Sort of TRL thing where it was all hair metal videos. So.
Yeah.
Play the uncensored version. This, I forgot what their what the segue was in Exposed, but all the segues are absolutely classic and
yeah. King of the Mountain, any way you slice it. Who Wants to Be Lonely? Man, some good stuff. I didn't like this
first official album with Mr. Bruce Kulick.
It is, right? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
When I bought this tape, the only song I liked was All Night. I mean, I didn't even know what the hell it was talking about, but I liked the music. I didn't like anything else, really. But now I...
You didn't like Tears Are Falling?
No, I didn't like it.
That one grabbed me right away.
Yeah,
I really dug that.
I always liked that one, too.
Yeah,
this one, I don't know. I'm casually familiar with it. My immediate recollection is that it suffers from some of that lousy 80s production.
I don't know. A lot of the Paul stuff that you could tell they were grooming it to be singles because it seems like it sounds better. It has a better.
That's weird.
It's more cohesive than a lot of the other songs on the albums from this era. And this was one where I don't think they played it on any other tours except for this tour, which is like the tour where there's notoriously not much footage that anybody has. Except for Kiss themselves. At least that's what
library.
I know there are some things that you could find on YouTube and that people might have, but there's a live version I heard of this song and it's like twice as fast. And I don't know if that's Eric Carr or if that was just the style at the time.
They were doing those cokehead tempos.
Yeah, I don't know what to attribute it to exactly. But it was a bit too fast for the whole groove of this song.
Pulling up the video real quick, so give me 1 second. Okay. I mean, we're probably not going to watch from that version, but just to get some visuals of what was happening.
Let me put on my glasses.
Some fantastic outfits.
Yeah, the outfits in the 80s.
Aren't there a lot of chicks dancing around in this video?
There has to be.
Yeah,
there doesn't have to be. But
it's called All Night.
Well, you know.
This is the video where there's like several girls in line marching.
Oh, right,
This
yeah.
is where Paul has the sailor hat.
Yeah, that's right. One of my favorite all-time...
He's looking like Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, he's got the captain's hat.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
that's one of the best intros of any music video ever.
He's slapping his guitar like a drum set, not playing it at all.
I forgot about the fucking captain's hat bit.
That's great.
And Gene looking like Joy Behar.
I know some people don't like this era, but I really enjoy it. The Paul Stanley is the frontman era.
Well, the thing about it is, I mean, they just totally immersed themselves in that whole Sunset Strip sleaze scene, and they pulled it off. I mean, you got to give them credit for getting with the times. You may say the times themselves were ridiculous and over the top, and they were.
Right.
But, you didn't see Foghat making videos like this and succeeding.
I think you had to evolve or perish, right? at that time,
or wait it out.
Right. Well, yeah, a lot of bands did that.
Before the show started. We were talking about there was a Tony Iommi video that I was watching the other day. Glenn Hughes was the vocalist, and it was like a really confused, odd kind of. I forget. It's off of. Forgot the name of the album even, but it's like "Love in the Streets" or something like that is the song, and it's like a sort of a slower power ballady kind of thing, and it's just the stuff that people did in the 80s and videos was just like with the acting, sort of like you can't just be the musician and
you an actor.
You got to be part of the storyline and the drama.
You got to remember how early into the whole video thing this all was, and it just when you look back on it, just they were just throwing stuff up against the wall to see what stuck. The guys who produce these videos were just taking all these stupid liberties, and everybody was going along with it. It was in its infancy here.
Oh, Paul's got pants that are like Flea had in the Higher Ground video with the stuffed animals. Almost looks like that.
Off of them. Yeah,
it's great.
Bruce
it's great.
Is a zebra guitar.
Yeah, why not?
Paul's pointing at amplifiers and they're shooting fire out of them.
Now this was not long after the Boys Are Gonna Rock video, and this is definitely toned down.
Might be the same. Might be the same set though. I'm not sure. Same sound stage.
The same set, which is why there's less pyrotechnics because it probably got destroyed during the other one.
These nurses walking with the beds with headlights.
Yeah,
on them.
That's just weird.
Yeah, what's that all about?
I don't know. This face that Paul makes is fantastic. If you're watching along at home on the YouTube video, it's like about 2:48. It's good stuff.
It's all show in this video,
Well,
you ready
since this is not a video program, let's roll the music and see what it sounds like. The video is classic 80s cheese if you haven't seen it.
We thought you'd take you down memory lane, though, just for those of you who have seen it.
Or this video has more memory lane, I would say.
Had to be done.
Excuse me.
Someone had to do it.
Jesus.
All right. You ready?
Yes. Just simple yet, probably because we grew up having this tape, but kind of an almost iconic intro. It's
iconic.
Well, for me and Andy, because we heard it so many times growing up.
Yeah, just that.
It's it's got a certain rhythm to it. It's one note. It's, I believe, A flat constantly.
Chris just rolled his eyes at you.
It's A flat.
I'm just
saying.
Why would
you even say that?
Andy just pointed it out.
That's what I'm going to sign this guitar pick with, A flat. Thanks for giving me a solution to that problem. Christ. I have to say again from the 80s production, that's just not a good guitar sound. I mean, I can see digging the rhythm of it. It's got some swagger, but the tone and the sound of the guitar is not to my liking. It's just not an organic guitar sound to me.
Well, maybe when the drums kick in and Paul lets out the first ow, the high-pitched ow,
he's gonna
turn you around.
Paul can only improve things generally.
Yeah.
So.
This is a good example of something that Chris has complained about for years. Eric Carr using the floor tom with the snare drum all the time.
I think
busy tom work.
Say what you want about the production, 80s production, whatever. I think it's the right move here. There's a lot more impact to that snare hit because of it. So, hey,
Chris looked at Nick like he was crazy, like he had two heads when he said it was the right move.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not gonna. You're never gonna convince me that that's the right thing to do. It's just play the fucking drums, man.
Yeah,
it's like there's a lot of music where people are doubling up the kick drum, and it's sort of the same effect. Where they're doing the one on the kick drum, and then when the snare hits the 3.
Right, but that's what the kick drum is for. You don't hit a fucking rack or floor tom at the same time as a snare. It's a terrible technique.
I think it sounds. I think it improves. It improves what it would have sounded like without it here.
Think that
it's just a fact.
And anything gimmicky just draws you in. You're so fucking susceptible to this shit. God.
That bass line does not sound like a Gene Simmons bass line.
I don't think he's playing.
I'm thinking he's not.
As we all know, he was MIA through most of the 80s.
I kind of like it. It's got a nice counter rhythm to it.
Definitely a good groove to this song. I mean, there's no question about that. It's right in that wheelhouse of getting your loins active, for sure.
Well, it's an ancestor to Let's Put the X in Sex and songs like that.
Yeah, but it's even sexier than that. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that. I mean, I think the groove of this is a little more, little darker, a little slightly slower, little sexier. That's how I would describe it.
Do you guys know who Jean Beauvoir is? Bass player?
Beauvoir?
Beauvoir? Is it?
Isn't it?
Who cares?
He was.
Did he play on it? Is that what it says?
Yes, he played bass.
He was a. Oh, what band was he in? We'll have to look at it.
You don't know this.
I do.
You do not. You're just making shit up.
No, I want to know.
No, he was in a fairly well-known band. I can't think of it. I know he's African American.
I'm gonna look it up.
That much. Well, I don't even know if he's American, but he's
a black guy named Jean Beauvoir,
and with like a mohawk, I think was his look.
What? That's
how are you really you're making this?
Look it up.
I'm trying.
Play the song.
I'll bet we have some people screaming at the computer right now. You don't know who this guy is.
Nobody knows who he is.
I know he wrote songs.
He doesn't even know.
He wrote songs and played bass. And I think Paul he wrote songs with. Am I right?
I'll tell you in a minute. Let's get another. It's loading.
Okay.
I'm using my phone. Yes.
Oh, I just wanted to remark on the fantastic lyrics that we're getting.
What are they?
I mean, it's cheese, but it takes a hard-working lover.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's like, come on,
that's good.
But you can't help but smile when you hear something like that, and I get excited. I'm so excited. I mean, he's being completely blatant about what. Well, he's not trying to be mysterious. Yeah.
I mean, you see the title of the song. There's no subtlety there.
I thought it was something about being like anxious about poverty and AIDS in the 80s, and he couldn't sleep, so he was like, all night.
Could be.
Or he had a gyro sandwich just before bedtime,
He's
which
burping.
is never a good idea.
It would be UGH if that were the case.
He's burping and smelling the gyro burp all night. Ugh. All right, so that's how you spell Beauvoir?
Isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I want to say yeah.
That's like Marge Simpson's name, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It is.
I didn't know that was how you spelled it, but okay.
So give me this.
So this is Marge Simpson's brother.
Yeah.
Tell me black guy with a mohawk.
Tell me how right I was.
He was born in Chicago. Interesting. Nope, I don't think you know any. He's okay. He is Haitian. So Nick's right there.
Okay, a lot of melanin.
No, he's not right, because if he's Haitian, he's not African American.
He's African continent.
No,
of
he's
America.
Haitian
I
American.
backpedaled and
he's not from Africa.
No, not necessarily from Africa. I meant that he had a lot of his pigment was rather dark.
But isn't a black person from
from Haiti
from Haiti still like as African as a black person from America? Wouldn't it just be
Yeah.
African Haitian
I
instead
think
of African American?
Yeah, and then they speak French instead of English,
Oh,
right?
does Haitian people come from Africa?
I'm pretty sure.
Probably originally.
I don't
Oh,
know.
boy.
We might be digging ourselves a hole, but I think so.
We might as well keep
I'm
digging.
not going any deeper on this.
That was Chris who said it, not Andy.
I honestly, I'm curious because that's another. That's such, bullshit about the whole African American distinction. I mean, look at say Alfonso Soriano. That guy's blacker than most black people. He's from the Dominican Republic or some shit. He ain't African.
Right. And he's not American. Neither.
He might have changed his citizenship.
Oh, sure.
Anyway.
All right, so this guy moved to New York City during the punk rock explosion.
Are we really going to spend time talking about this guy?
Because I'm revealing.
I want you guys to know how right I was.
He was famous for his blonde mohawk.
Have mercy.
And he was
Unbelievable. How do you know this?
And he was in the Plasmatics.
The Plasmatics.
Okay. Wow.
It said he also performed with, or wrote, produced, and performed with the Ramones, John Waite, the Pretenders, Debbie Harry, Lionel Richie, Doro, and NSYNC.
Dude's been around.
So here you go. Here's your iPad. Let's get back to...
hold on to it so in case you have to search stuff, you don't have to poke around on that fucking phone of yours.
Why is it a fucking phone?
We might need the
regular phone.
Because you spend the time, it's not loading. Just use the proper device, for Christ's sake.
Chris demands nothing less.
I know. Well, I thought you would look it up and read it to me.
I don't feel like it.
Okay,
Wow.
fair enough.
Wow.
Fair enough.
Ask the guy for an autograph before the show, and he just goes crazy.
I will, however, say that I'll eat a little crow on that. Nick was totally right about this guy, and if he played in the Plasmatics and with all these other guys, he's a legit dude. I'd never even heard of him before.
You're playing with Bozio. Got to know what you're doing.
That guy was in the Plasmatics?
No.
Wasn't he? No.
I don't know.
Terry Bozzio?
Oh, well, no, he was in a missing persons. Give me a break. Okay, I get one thing wrong out of like a million.
1 out of a million.
Damn.
So if you work all day, you gotta all night.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to get any rest?
You not Coke, I guess. Probably Coke.
Yeah, Coke helps.
That's the way.
Granola, root beer,
and Coke.
Ultimate legal high.
I
Sugar.
just saw in the national news tonight that they're saying now that 7 hours are the optimum amount of sleep.
It's not 8 anymore?
Not 8 anymore.
Fuck.
Studies have shown.
I've been
it's
using
now
that
7.
excuse on my wife. I hope she doesn't see that news story.
You got an extra hour.
Don't bother me. I need to get 8.
You got an extra hour of stuff to do now.
But I mean, if you're working all day and you're ing all night, how are you supposed to get your 7 hours in?
You're going to be in the ground in a few years at that rate.
It's worth it if you're all night. What else do you want?
Yeah, good point.
Might as well just get it in one dose over a year or two, and then you croak and you had enough.
Yeah, I can't argue with that logic.
That's an 80s mentality.
It's before everything starts falling apart on your body. It's nice.
Well, I'm past that point, unfortunately, so that ship has sailed.
So we were saying, maybe briefly midday would be the name of the song nowadays.
Mm-hmm. While standing over the toilet bowl once a week.
Right, exactly. Story of my life.
On a lazy Sunday. Yeah. Love that.
Chris was thoroughly enjoying that.
That's the best.
I was just about to dismiss it. Then the woo at the end saved it for me.
Yeah.
I gotta admit that pulled me back into the positive column on that whole section. Play it again.
such a girly woo too.
It's perfect. That's what you want out of Paul Stanley.
It is. 80s Paul Stanley. Just we want flamboyance.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the grunting, I was about to dismiss it as being totally cheesy, but the feminine woo saved it at the end.
And I do like the next line, one of my favorites. So far, I mean, the lyrics are so for me up to this point, but this next
So
one's
we have
good.
one of your favorite lyrics.
All right, we're on an upswing.
Followed by an AC/DC lyric, the next line after that.
I don't think I know what that is.
Let's see what happens.
Is that an AC/DC lyric?
Yeah, that's...
Take me to the jungle, baby. Is that what he said?
Take me to the jungle, honey. We're living in a human zoo.
Oh, what's human zoo? There's something...
That's it's an AC/DC lyric.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, what song is that?
Should we...
Oh, it's If You Want Blood, You Got It.
Exactly.
Yeah, living in a human zoo. Good call.
Didn't know that.
Human zoo.
That's a good... It's, I mean, and then you got the Scorpions singing about the zoo. It's,
but they didn't add human in.
No.
Well, but the whole song was about
it's
society,
assumed,
the city. You know,
got to label it human zoo, though.
Urban.
Don't bring the Scorpions into this discussion. You had a good point, and you ruined it.
I'll do that every time.
Yeah, you know.
What did he say about rolling? Somebody turning tricks for money.
Who
though?
Must be another woman.
I gotta
turning
look it
tricks
up.
for money, but he's saying, I don't want that. I'd rather roll around with you. He's doing the speaking directly to the listener.
Yeah, it's a good way to charm a woman. Just disparage whores. Say, I could go out and fuck a street whore right now, but I'd rather be with you.
Like, because I don't have to pay you. Is kind of what he's saying.
Not yet.
He's saying I have to pay her, but not you.
This is I don't know if I believe this. 'Cause some of these lyric sites are bullshit, but maybe that's what it really is. It just says, "Getcha turning tricks for money. I'd rather roll around with you."
That doesn't make sense.
But that's what it says on two different lyrics websites.
Well,
and I certainly don't have the official lyrics in front of me. So
I could almost see it being geishas turning tricks for money.
Geishas. Man. That'd be wild if he went down that road.
That would be wild.
Dude, everyone's saying getcha.
Well,
I don't know.
Who knows?
Getcha turning tricks for money. He's saying I could get you to turn tricks for money.
So basically,
I could be your pimp.
Yeah, I was going to say he's Paul the pimp at this point.
What would Paul?
But it's that he said I could make you a street whore, but I'm going to keep you. And
I like
roll
that.
around with you while I send other women out.
I have a thing for our listeners to throw out back at us. What would Paul's pimp name be if he played out that first line instead? He said, what if he said, "I want you to turn tricks for money"? What would she call him? I don't know, frankly. I don't have a good one in mind.
Well, Tito Blackwell is off the table. So I don't know, but I didn't realize these lyrics were this edgy. I'm kind of digging that. Turning tricks for money. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, let's see what else there is. Well, you know what's funny, though? A few minutes ago, in the chorus, he did say, "There's just one thing that money can't buy." But now he's saying, turning tricks for money. What the hell?
He's playing that mind game.
He is. He's got me wondering.
There's a lot of dominance.
Shucking and jiving.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, he's going to be deep inside of me. That's how he plays the game.
Confusing the woman.
Yeah.
It's
mixed messages.
It's a jab.
Yep.
What does it say? We work all day, but we don't know why.
Yeah. And there's
All
just
right.
one thing that money can't buy.
Okay. What is that line?
When your body's been starved, feed your appetite.
Okay. Good advice.
I love that. Ooh, that was a guttural.
That's
good one.
That's a Paul Stanley trademark.
Yep.
you guys think?
Good solo.
Yeah, remarkably devoid of any obvious 80s cliches like the requisite whammy bar, dive bomb, or any sort of like two-hand tapping portion. It's pretty straightforward. I thought it was good.
You enjoyed that.
I think with a different production, that could have a good portion of that solo could have been like on a Revenge track.
Yeah, I was just about to say, man, can you imagine how much better this song would be if it was produced like Revenge, made to sound like Revenge? I mean,
yeah, it'd be cool.
Man, 80s hard rock albums, for the most part, sounded like shit, didn't they?
Yeah.
Comparatively speaking to what we're used to now.
70s and then 90s. I mean, it's been 20 years since the 90s.
Yeah,
people haven't gone and said, "Oh, that sucks."
No, I mean, then again, people are sort of revisiting some of those early, like Pearl Jam 10 or the first like facelift Alice in Chains. It's got that big 80s reverb snare on it. I mean, the guitars sound way better, and the production is overall cleaner, but
they couldn't get away from the snare.
Yeah, I mean, it's not unassailable, but it's just this 80s production is just it's a shame because there was some good stuff put out. It just doesn't sound very good, and this is one of them. But I don't know. I'm enjoying it so far, and like Nick just mentioned, I can't help but think what it would sounded like had it been a Revenge track, you know, with some straight ahead drumming and better production. Yeah, no bullshit.
I was thinking about the live version that I had heard, the breakneck speed live version.
Yeah.
Paul uses this part of the song as an opportunity to just have the drums going, and he's doing the like way over the top. Like he's really giving it to the audience here.
Well,
like he's going for he's using it as an opportunity to get the crowd involved in the song.
Of course. Yeah. He's in a room full of 18,000 people.
But it's pretty hilarious though, the one that I heard.
Was that something from Kissology, or is that
No, YouTube? I remember several years ago somebody asking Paul about, do you guys have stuff from this tour, because not very many people, like there's no good footage that's out there really. And he said, yeah, we have it. And they're like, well, is it going to be on Kissology? He said, yeah, maybe. And it was like a thing where they started to say, like, that the fans always want what they don't have at the time.
Until
like during that era, so many people hated it and wanted the makeup and, whatever. Yeah. And now people are sort of interested in what they did in the 80s because they're not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
So it kind of, Paul made some kind of like wry comment about that, about how you try to do what you can, but you can't please everybody.
Yeah.
But maybe one day, I don't know, that Kissology 4 has been really on the back burner for several years now.
Yeah, it's been a long
Keep
time.
waiting to have us in it.
God, that was 5 years ago when we went to that concert, right? 2009?
Yeah, and they've been talking about it pretty much ever since.
5 years. That's a long time. Jeez. I didn't realize that. Holy shit.
They say Tommy Thayer's in charge of that.
Oh, fucking Tommy. Let's get snapping, bud.
Put us in it.
Yeah. He's probably at home practicing after Ace Frehley said that he could blow him off the stage in a recent interview when he was talking about how he still has his chops.
Yeah, well, these guys just can't leave it alone.
I know.
No, he's got an album coming out. He's going to be doing what he can. He'll be saying what he can, yeah.
When is that? I keep forgetting.
Not April. August 19th.
August 19th.
And I am probably going to go see him when he comes to Chicago, I think later in the fall. I think.
Do you know where he's coming?
Not sure. I don't know the date.
I thought it was House of Blues.
Is it? I don't know if it's for sure determined.
I thought we were invited to a box there.
I don't think so.
I have no idea if it's if it's known for sure yet. I guess I should look into it.
Should probably get around.
But I'd like to go see it. He's trying to get the bass player from the Cult to be his touring bass player.
And he's announced
the current guy?
I think it's the current guy.
He's announced who he's trying to get in his band?
Well, I guess it's who recorded on the album with him.
he's just saying, I hope it works out and we can bring him with or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who the guy is. I'm not a cult fan really, but figured that would interest Chris.
Who's not a cult fan? That was my impression of Chris. Who doesn't like hot dogs?
Well, that's exactly right. I don't get that.
What does that mean?
Who doesn't eat hamburgers?
How does that happen?
Why would you get, what was it, spanakopita?
Why would you get a pizza puff?
There's nothing that Nick does that anyone can explain. It's just that simple. It's just the fucking way it is.
All right, that I'm sorry to stop it 1 second after we started, but for whatever reason, that was something that was stuck in my head for years. And
just that,
yeah, just that. But it was only when, like, if I'd be walking to work, because when Chris and I worked at Playboy, we walked like a mile from the train station to the office. If I'd be walking to work and I'd see an attractive girl, that's the noise I would always make quietly to myself.
With the guitar fading up in the background.
Sometimes not so quietly, but that was it. And it was just, it became where it wasn't like, oh, there's an attractive girl, I better do it. It would be like, all right, who's going to get the today? All right, that's worthy. Maybe not there. Yeah.
It's good. Everybody should have their own sound.
That was quietly, though? Like you never told Chris that the
I might have done it too, Chris, a few
distributed
times.
Today?
It wasn't verbalized that way. I probably made the noise a few times
kind of funny.
Chris, but that was it.
One time he just straight out verbalized, said, that chick's horny.
That's true.
So
Chris responded with, she'd take it.
Yeah, and then we went out about our business.
That was it.
It's like a 2-second conversation. That chick's horny.
Silence the rest of the way.
Take it. Yeah, she'd take it.
And then on to the next thought.
That was the end. That's true, though.
Then I think our thought pattern was interrupted by some homeless guy taking a dump on the sidewalk. So, yeah.
That happens.
It does happen.
He'd take it too, probably.
Yeah, he would. He'd give it, too.
I rewound it.
What did he just caterwaul into the mic on that?
He said, they got me working, they got me running, but when I'm coming home to you, yeah.
You know, that part of the song and certain other parts should be edited together and put in like the Flintstones theme, or the animation for the theme song of the Flintstones where he's sliding down the dinosaur, like he can't wait to get home.
Yeah,
it's just it seems like it should go together, sort of like Pat Morita.
Yeah,
jumping through the car.
Nick.
I might have to.
It can happen.
Work your magic.
I'm gonna do it. I have to stop it again because I really like the bass on this, and I never really listen to the song in headphones, and I never really hear the little intricacies of what's going on with the bass, and I like it.
It adds good groove.
Yeah, it adds a really nice dimension to it that I never really noticed
Your
before.
Boy Beauvoir really showed up to this session.
Yeah, man, looking like a guy from Fishbone with that mohawk.
What is he going crazy about?
I don't know, man, but he hit some kind of note there.
I wish I could understand that. I think he was adding some other stuff that's not normally there. Something about his body.
He went up a couple octaves on that note.
Yeah,
He's got like a guy from Sabotage kind of range.
Sabotage.
Oh, pardon me.
Correction. I pulled it back a few seconds.
Stupid. Just freestyling in the studio. That's all that is.
Yeah.
To do that, you need tight pants and a spotlight.
And a woman on her knees in front of you in the vocal booth. That's that recipe. I'll guarantee you that's what was going. Exactly. That's what she at that moment is when she gave him the stink finger. Yeah. That's what happened in the 80s, Nick.
Pardon me.
It was accepted. I mean, it's accepted now, but even more so back then.
All right.
Pass
good
that
cut,
back to
man.
the couch. Yeah. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Hail or hallelujah? Give it a rating.
Giving it a hallelujah.
Okay.
The production stinks.
I was going to say, is there any doubt there? Was there any
There
moment?
was doubt going in because
Yeah.
my recollection of the song going in was that the production sucked, and that recollection proved to be accurate. But the groove and the lyrics and the sort of the kick to the gut sound effects and the various things going on were appealing, and we're able to override the production. So hallelujah from me.
Nick?
I don't know. Andy just put on that the video.
Started it again.
Where he's walking down the stairs all mysteriously with the trench coat and admiral hat.
I think he might have spats on too.
It's unbelievable. It's absolutely wonderful. I can't give this anything but a hallelujah.
Yeah, this is
wild. I mean this is it's like a guilty pleasure kind of song subject matter wise, but the music, it's got, like Chris was saying before, it's got that edge. It's got a little bit of, it's not straight pop, like pop rock, whatever you want to call it. It's got a little bit of like a bluesy edge to it. So I mean that just makes it even cooler.
It does. It's got a great groove. It's a shame it doesn't sound better.
And the bass playing was a very nice surprise from doing this podcast, because I got to throw the headphones on.
Never noticed it.
Yeah, I really like the bass playing in this song, Mr. Beauvoir.
Gene made a great face.
Here's to you.
When he looks through this giant keyhole. Oh, shit.
Gene was acting.
It was awesome.
He was like, great, this is my scene. I get to look through a keyhole.
It's a great face. It's like a face that Nick or I would make. Like the wide-eyed, silly face.
You gotta say... I made that face in a video Andy made a few years ago.
That's what it made me think of. That was your assignment. Make the face.
I had to make the Gene face from all night.
You nailed it. But
Marge Simpson's brother did a hell of a job on this tune.
Yeah. Jeez. I'm looking at Gene. He did look like a little bit of a clown in this era.
Oh, God. He looked terrible throughout. Looked good with the Revenge era, but pretty much throughout the 80s, he just looked like a jag-off. after the makeup came off, just terrible. In fact, the first shot of them in the Lick It Up video, the full body shots, up the first part of the video, you just see their crotches and whatnot, and then they shoot it back. That first glimpse of Gene is just fucking shocking.
Yeah.
Well, Andy, need we ask?
Yeah, we're giving it a hallelujah, of course. I love this song. It's a great one. It's a classic. I
didn't realize you guys were that into it as kids. It's pretty neat.
This was one of the standout songs on that tape.
Yeah. I think it was the standout song on that tape. Was it on anything else? No, it wasn't on Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits, was it?
It was a single. It had a video, and then you don't really hear anymore. You don't hear anything, really. It's not on compilations. I don't think it might have been on the box set.
Yeah, probably
from
on
the
box
turn
set.
of the century era box set that came out.
Was the video on Extreme Close-Up or only on Exposed?
I think it was only Exposed.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. They didn't really highlight this era too much on Extreme Close-Up, did they?
No, I guess they were kind of coming out of it. They were toughening up a little bit, so they probably didn't want to put too much attention on what they had just done.
Plus, they were covering their whole career. So,
what's the video that I'm thinking of? It wasn't Rise to It, was it? It might have been Rise to It. The one... No, it's Reason to Live, isn't it? Where they talk for like 3 minutes at the beginning where they're putting the makeup on.
No, that was...
That's Rise to It.
That is Rise to It, yeah.
They just cut the blues guitar out, right? They just start with a boom. Yeah. I was just thinking that's like the only one I remember from Extreme Close-Up, but I'm sure there was something else that was of the 80s era with the worst acting in history. Gene, I think we could take the makeup off. I think we could take the makeup off.
Take the makeup off. You're crazy.
No, Gene, I think we could take the makeup off, and the audience would, the fans would be just as into it as if we had the makeup on. I think we could take the makeup off.
I still say you're crazy.
You're crazy. Take the makeup off. You're crazy.
Take the makeup off. You're crazy.
We can
take
never.
the makeup off. You're crazy.
We can never
take
the makeup
off. You're crazy. Take the
Worst.
makeup off. You're crazy.
So bad.
Yeah, it really
Whoever
was
wrote
bad.
that.
The whole video era was just an exercise in experimentation, and most of it was awful.
True.
So.
But yeah, definitely a Hallelujah. A good song that gets you in the mood.
I have a feeling this song is going to polarize our listeners.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's going to be a lot of people saying, "I can't believe I got 3 Hallelujahs."
I could totally see that.
And everyone's entitled to their opinion. It could be outrageous to some.
I mean, it's probably going to be wrong for most of them.
It could be
but sure.
disgusting to some.
Yeah, but it's titillating to me.
So that's all that counts.
Yeah.
Now, which video is this? Tears Are Falling that you're putting on?
No, this is Who Wants to Be Lonely.
Oh, Who Wants to Be Lonely? Another great outfit in the same vein.
No,
like
play Who Wants to Be Lonely.
Something like Macho Man Randy Savage would have wore around this era.
Yeah, you're right.
With the tassels.
and the like hot pink and yellow.
Yeah.
Snap into a Slim Jim outfit.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's got going on here.
Yeah, you're right. This is bizarre. But yeah, definitely.
Crazy era.
Definitely a Hallelujah for me. It's a song I don't think it's on my iPhone right now, but it was a song because I accidentally erased all my music a couple months ago. Like an idiot, where you sync it and it's all gone.
Can I talk about how not smart I am with iPhones?
Yes.
I don't know how really even to get my music on there.
No.
My 11-year-old nephew is trying to help me with that.
Man, you sound like a grandpa right now.
I hate iTunes. And I just have no patience for it.
There's no
so when I'm
way.
in it, I'm just like, screw this. Like, if it's not instantly giving me what I want, if I can't just copy it into a folder and have it be there, I'm just losing it.
Well, you can't just drag and drop it, but you've got to be on the right screen to do so.
Well, see, and that's the thing. I mean, why are there so many screens?
Click the right tab. And
what is?
there.
I mean, really, I want to watch this chick fall in the pool instead.
Yeah, I could see you getting distracted by this instead. Just like, the hell with it. You could just look it up on YouTube and watch it on your phone instead.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Girls dancing in the shower.
What's that chick doing?
I don't know.
Well,
I'm not with the program of using my phone as my media player. I like to keep that shit separate. I'm old school. I've got an iPod Classic that I sometimes snap pictures of if I've got a good song going at work, and I'll post stuff. I almost did that today. I had the Mentors, My Erection Is Over, came up in the middle of the day. Great tune. You familiar with them at all, Nick?
I am not.
Mentors?
No. Was Gene Bouvier in there?
No. It was El Duque and...
Oh, it was El Duque's band.
Sicky Wife Beater on guitar. Yeah.
I'm not familiar musically, but I have heard of those characters.
Yeah. Herpes 2 is another great tune on that album. Like Sandwich of Love.
Like the number 2 or like TOO?
TWO.
Okay.
Herpes Simplex 2.
Okay.
Strain of herpes.
Okay. Very good.
Golden Showers is on there. Fucking classic album. You Axed For It is the name of the album.
Good stuff.
Get it if you don't have it.
It's like early shock rock, right? Like when then... Wouldn't that be...
Pretty much, yeah. Like mid-'80s.
Yeah.
Mean Red's drummer was a Mentors freak. Was always playing that album.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was good. It was kind of always a pleasure when... Because I listened to just about exclusively to shuffle on my iPod.
Yeah.
And My Erection Is Over just popped up in the middle of the day. It's
I have to
fucking
look
great.
this song up. I've never heard it.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't think I would get into the putting my music on my phone until I got the phone a couple of years ago, and just I don't know.
Well, you guys are full Apple, right? Because my phone's Android, so I like to keep that shit separate.
Yeah,
because like you, I would ruin it. I would sync away all of my music.
I mean, I have the files, but when it did the thing where like you sync only the stuff you bought instead of like the CDs that you ripped and
and the thing is, it seems like whenever there's an update, it changes those settings.
Yeah, it
fucks you up.
Yeah, maybe it's like their little way to try to get you to lose your music and have to buy it from them.
It's those fucking nerds who can't get over the fact they were shoved in lockers by the jocks in the high school. It's like, get over it, man.
Yeah.
Quit hacking stuff. Quit doing the geekery that you do. Just deal with it. You've conquered the world. You guys are making all the money with your Googles and your Microsofts. Just be satisfied with that. Fuck.
It's always a
Quit
problem.
ruining things.
They're building empires.
Exactly. You've taken over. Quit with your fucking passive-aggressive nonsense. Messing up my iTunes, you fucking nerd.
Yep. So, geez, what else? Is there anything happening with the Kiss Def Leppard tour? Anything exciting? I haven't been keeping up. I haven't watched any videos from it.
It's a nondescript tour. There's nothing going on.
I mean, I guess once you've heard what the tour is, after that, you know what to expect.
It's a typical summer shed tour, old timers tour. Big deal.
Andy, are you going yet?
Not yet. What is it, August 9th?
August 16th. And then Ace's album the 19th. That's an exciting week in Kiss history, for me at least.
There have been a lot of shows coming around lately. I think, was it like Soundgarden and Nine Inch Nails? Is that a big... I mean, that's basically an old-timers tour.
I didn't know that they were touring together.
I think that's today, as we're recording this.
I had no idea.
Yeah, we were approached about having a fourth guest, a fourth host today, but he couldn't come because of that. What else is there? I don't know. There's Aerosmith. Aerosmith's coming around.
Aerosmith and Slash.
Slash.
When's that?
Pretty soon.
I saw it in the paper yesterday, so it's got to be coming up soon. I don't know. Yeah, but I guess the summer's the time when all the old-timers come around and do the big outdoor shed, which is, what the hell is it? First Midwest Bank still?
It's terrible.
In Tinley Park, Illinois.
Speaking of Aerosmith, I just read an article today that Joe Perry, Johnny Depp, and Alice Cooper had a somewhat secret recording session with Paul McCartney recently, and there's supposed to be some music coming out.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Nobody
wants to hear it. Keep it to yourself.
I think Johnny Depp cares. That's about it. Nobody other.
And he just wants to hear what Johnny Depp is going to play on guitar.
Gives a shit about these old bastards. Enough. God.
Yeah.
Play your fucking concerts. Nobody wants to hear your collaborations. Stop.
It was, let's see, that was the news today, and then there was, of course, another update about Velvet Revolver still not having a vocalist.
Which is still working on
every day for
Bach?
About 50 years. They haven't had a vocalist. I've been reading about it.
Are they getting any closer to landing Sebastian Bach? It's been like 10 years. They've been flirting with that idea.
Why is that even still in play?
That's the amazing thing, is that everybody's if it's a Scott Weiland or a Slash or a Duff McKagan or even like a Matt Sorum interview, it's, so what's going on with Velvet Revolver? I don't know.
Well, chalk that up to the stupidity of your typical music journalist. Even go there. Why would you even fucking approach that subject? It's over.
It is over.
It's like interviewing Cornell and saying, when's the next Audio Slave album coming out? That project is done.
Yeah.
Finished.
It had its time. It's over with.
Interviewing Nikki Sixx. When are you going to put out another album with Karabi? It's not happening. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, Flea, you going to get Navarro back in the band? Do another hot minute, maybe?
Another hot minute.
Sometimes, some of these... getting back to, we talked about journalism in general earlier, specifically music journalism. A lot of these guys just need to get punched in the face with some of their stupid questions.
There are a lot of bad ones.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Journalism in general is horseshit, but it's all just, write an outrageous headline and get people to click on it so I can get my Google AdWords paycheck,
Well, it's just amazing how the same headline keeps getting put up. It's anytime anybody is talking to Slash, it's either what's Velvet Revolver doing or are you going to get back with Axl? It's like,
can you imagine having to listen to that question?
Well, and the way they write the headlines now, it's like, We asked Slash about a potential Guns N' Roses reunion, ... And what he said next will blow you fucking away.
Yeah.
It's like, God, I fucking hate
Isn't that the worst?
Headline style.
That something,
Jesus.
and it was awesome.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. And it was amazing.
And it was epic.
Yeah.
And, or these, like, these 8 reasons why Slash won't get back together with Guns N' Roses are incredible, especially number 5.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
It's like, fuck you with your horse shit. And you know what the sad thing is? That shit works on most people. People are just stupid.
People are sitting at work and they're like, I'd like to know 8 quick facts about this.
And you click each page. Each page has different ads.
Yeah, and in between, and page 3 doesn't even have anything. You have to go through the ad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it's just...
And then there's a comment section, which really isn't much worse than the article.
I read one... Shit, what was the one I read? Oh, it was something about Jack White. And I have to say, it was on... I think it was Spin. And it was like the best comments. Every person was just like, this article sucks. This person's a horrible writer. This is a waste of time. There was no, like... nobody was happy with it. It was just like the stupidest article. It was about him going to baseball games and looking unhappy.
Oh, I saw. He
was at the Cubs game.
Yeah, I saw a lot of those.
Yeah, but it was like, the article was written like, it seems like someone's taking Jack White to baseball games, like forcing him to go, and he hates it. And it was like, here's like 5 pictures.
Because that makes sense.
People are like, why would he be forced to go to baseball games in different stadiums around the country? Like,
you know what?
And hate it.
Ultimately, that's a win for the writer because he's engaging people.
It is.
And but again, he's engaging people by getting ripped to shreds.
It was 100%.
There's no pride. There's no shame anymore. There's no dedication to quality. It's like, what can we put up here that's going to get the most clicks? I mean, shame yourself, portray yourself as an asshole.
Yeah.
It's like, when Groupon did for President's Day, their $10 off, and it implied that Alexander Hamilton was a president. And just people flew in. It's like, you morons, he was never a president. It was all intentional. They did that. They intentionally made themselves look like assholes, like stupid morons,
to start a
so they
conversation.
could get the publicity, so they could get a write-up on CNN and just get people flocking over to the site.
Yeah,
it's a win for them.
At what cost?
I agree with you.
It's cheap, obviously.
It's cheap, and you have to go to bed at night knowing that you made yourself look like a clueless jagoff,
right?
Simply to get a few extra clicks on your website.
Yeah, that sucks.
It's stupid, but there's no shame anymore. There's no privacy.
Clearly, if they're listening to this.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Speaking of going to bed every night knowing that you're an idiot.
Stating the obvious here. I guess, would this be irony? Would this be something Alanis Morissette would say?
Hypocrisy? I don't know. Whatever.
Who knows? But it's just, again, kind of bringing this thing back around. The internet is a blessing because it gives a bunch of chumps like us the platform to have a quasi-radio show, but it's just so much insipidness and just buffoonery out there. It's a double-edged sword. So.
Right. Before we sign off, I wanted to tell you guys that I went to see Megadeth last week.
I was going to ask about that, yeah.
In Hammond.
How was it?
At the Horseshoe Casino.
All right, Hammond.
It was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. Dave Mustaine had a similar voice to Paul Stanley live. I don't know if he's sick or if his voice is actually gone like Paul's is, like a permanent problem.
I always had the feeling, I don't know if I've ever heard Mustaine say this, but I've always had the feeling that he was never really a master of playing and singing his particular type of music, which I would imagine there's not very many people who could be.
Tough, yeah.
And he just said, well, I'm a guitar guy, so guitar, I'm going to make sure I play perfectly, and vocals are just going to have to suffer. That's how I always felt that he must have had to make a choice to a certain degree.
His singing live has always been kind of strange because he like jumps into this weird It's not falsetto, but it's like this weird whiny.
It's
like
the
high
snarl,
voice.
doesn't he? He has a name for it.
But it's not the same voice that he uses on the records.
No,
it's like a weird thing he jumps into that's probably easier for him. But he couldn't hit any high note. His voice just cut out. It was like really raspy. He had like no power at all. But I mean, they were really good. They were.
Did he play with the symphony?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, we're gonna forget that happened.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure German Dan would have been thrilled to find out that he's still playing with the symphony.
Did he like that?
I remember because
did he smash it?
I remember when that was put up on somehow it was linked to Pot of Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
It was put out there that Andy is a big fan of this guy, and German Dan was like, "Andy, please, like, what's wrong? Why would you be?"
What?
He'll have to speak for himself after he hears this episode.
He's the greatest. When I was watching Dave Mustaine, I thought this might be the greatest living rock star. During the show, he had me going. Even though he couldn't sing worth a shit, he was great. He had a part where he was just talking for a while about if he was president. I was like, you know what? If anyone else was doing this, I wouldn't want to hear it. But I was into it.
He's along the same lines as Ted Nugent with the stuff he says.
I mean, he kept it a lot more mild than Ted Nugent would have.
He's also a lot younger than Ted.
Yeah, that's
if you
the
give
thing.
him time,
yeah, he's
the
gonna
older and more cantankerous he gets, the more outrageous stuff will come spilling out of his mouth.
Right. But yeah, that was good. And the other thing I wanted to comment on was that there was an opening band called Diamond Plate. Have you guys ever heard of Diamond Plate?
No.
I figured Nick would, since he's like a blabbermouth guy.
I actually never heard of them.
Oh, but I don't know. I never heard of them either. But they're a Chicago band, and they're a 3-piece like thrash metal band. They're pretty young guys. I don't know. We were talking earlier about how it's all old dudes playing music, and we talked about that last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever. But yeah, they were cool. They were young. I mean, probably 20s to early 30s.
Diamond Plate?
Yeah. And their guitar player was entertaining. He played a Strat in a thrash metal band, which is kind of different. But
that's cool.
He was like headbanging all crazy and running around, entertaining the crowd. Not like the usual opening band that just stands still and has no entertainment value, you know. But yeah, they were cool. So
good thing they didn't do the typical Hammond move of trotting out History's End.
That's the other
opening band.
I wanted to point out. Yeah,
thank God they didn't put out a cover band. That's what I saw. Black Star Riders in St. Charles a couple months ago, and they fucking brought out this cheesy 70s cover band. It's an embarrassment.
It is embarrassing.
It's an insult.
But is that the band that had the guy in the African outfit?
Yeah. 60-year-old guy.
I remember that picture now. Yeah.
Fucking dashiki and some, silo hat or whatever the fuck you call it.
He looked like he was playing Santana. Was I right?
No, they were.
Okay.
In fact, I think they opened the set with Detroit Rock City.
Did they really?
Or not? Yeah.
That's funny.
I wonder if.
But they played like a Fog Hat and some other stuff. But they were just. It was just cheesy. And I don't know, man. If I was in a legendary band and I saw this shit opening for me, I'd fucking trash that backstage area. I'd fucking seek out the promoter and whip the shit out of him.
It's not acceptable to do
it's
that.
insulting.
It is.
It really is.
But when you posted that thing on Facebook about the guy and this old dude in the African outfit, my wife still talks about that like once every few days about how funny that was. I don't know. It was like the wording and the picture combination.
I got to admit, though, the guy could play.
No, I think it was a compliment that you put.
I said that
he was ripping it up.
This old white motherfucker in the African outfit is killing it.
Yeah, that's what it was. This old white motherfucker in the African outfit.
He was. I mean, the guy
great.
could play, but it was just overall just embarrassing.
Yeah,
it was not aesthetically pleasing.
No,
and
then after their set, this dickhead promoter had a fucking air guitar contest going on while they were setting up Black Star Riders stage. If I was one of the roadies, I'd just start fucking beating people up. If that was happening.
What did they say? If you want to come up out of the crowd and do air
pluck
oh god,
old people out of the crowd and do an air guitar to classic rock hits over the PA while they were setting up essentially Thin Lizzy's backline.
Yeah, that's
it's
pretty
a goddamn
horrible.
disgrace.
They're making, Thin Lizzy would be included in that era, of course, and it's making a joke of the band before they come out because they're sort of, they're going to be identified with a lot of the songs probably that were played.
It is. It's a disgrace. It should never happen. So kudos to the people at the Horseshoe for running a proper venue and putting some thought into the opening and giving an original band the opportunity and the exposure.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
I was very pleased because you don't see that enough. It's always when you go see one of these old bands, it's always another old band opening.
That's true. Well, a lot
except
of
for
times.
Kiss and Def Leppard,
whatever,
Doro or whatever the hell's up. No,
I'm going to give them a chance, but not a very. I'm not going to be too open-minded when they're playing.
You're going to give them like one song?
Yeah, give them one song. If they don't win me over right away, it's over.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm going to get nachos.
All right. Well, I think we should wrap it up. This one's pushing 90 minutes.
Good grief.
80 minutes.
How long is Monday anyway?
This Monday coming up is going to be long, so we thought you guys needed a little bit of extra entertainment.
Oh, and you work all day.
Yeah.
All night.
You probably just got off all weekend.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
you're working all day and you don't know why. So kill an hour and a half with us assholes.
Yeah. But I don't know. What was the argument today? If you don't like this song, we'd like to hear why.
Well, there's that, and I think the Paul Stanley's pimp name.
Oh, his pimp name, that's what it was.
His 80s pimp name would have been a nice one.
Yeah.
I don't have anything in mind yet, but I'll be contributing once we have it up on the internet there.
Yeah,
on
all right.
Facebook.
So let's think about it. We'll see what we have. All right. All good over there, Chris?
Yeah, let's end this thing.
Let's get Chris's autograph and bail. That theme song is hot.